Hi there guys, this is Saints929 and I'm bringing you yet more important information to allow you to set up and to do well when you first start off in Dust 514. Once again, I'm doing this on behalf of 7 Gaming, and I hope today the information I give you will aid you in your introduction into the game. As you can see here, and you're probably wondering why, I'm back at the character selection screen. This is to show you that you have 3 different characters. You have the opportunity to go down 3 different routes. So do not be afraid to use your skill points in different ways. Don't be afraid to go down different routes. Naturally, you're going to want to use your skill points effectively. You're not going to want to waste them. However, do not be afraid to try out different tactics and try out different equipment, so long as you have the prerequisite skills. As you can see here, I have 3 different characters. Found on 929 Gaming is a tanker. I have upgraded certain skills in order to allow me to be effective in that role. Saints929 Gaming is a heavy, and therefore I'm more of an infantry role there. And Trollstorm is naturally a troll. Now, as you can see, I have 3 different characters, all of which play different roles, and this is all on one of my PSNs. Now, if you want to change or you want to delete your character, you simply press X. As you can see here, you can terminate. Pressing X again will allow you to terminate your character. You'll be given just under 10 hours, or maybe less or more. I'm sure I've had 8 hours before, but this may be, since the new update, is 10 hours. You can choose to abort your termination by simply pressing X. I'm going to abort because I want my troll character. That aborts the process. You can also choose to delete. You just have to simply wait until the abort number has gone down to 0 and then confirm. You'll also see that you have a lifetime SP at the bottom here at the character selection. That shows how much lifetime SP. As you can see here, I have just over 1.5 million SP in this character, including passive. You can switch passive, as I said before in previous videos, by pressing X, activate passive. You can simply switch back by once again following the same process. I'm going to get into a character now. I'm going to go through more of the skill details that you're going to need to know. The key point here is that you're going to want to be as effective as possible in the way you're going to play, and therefore you've got to figure out how you're going to play. So before you use any skill points, before you mould yourself into a role, jump into a couple of games, see how you like to play, see what you enjoy. So if you enjoy sniping, you therefore know you're going to want to go down the sniping route. If you've decided actually I like driving a tank, or you like piloting a dropship, you therefore want to tailor your skills to do that to a greater ability. Now, the high level skills are going to cost you more, so you're going to have to take time. You've got to remember this game is going to take a lot of time in order for you to establish yourself, so be patient, and once you've given it enough time, you will reap the rewards. Now, in order to access your skills, you can simply go through the neocom. So you press L1, you go to your character, you go to skills, and you'll see the skills that you start off with when you're a new player, or you'll see the skills that you've already purchased as a player. As you can see here, I have various skills. These are skills I've either purchased or skills that I started off with. The skills you start off with are purely dependent on which class you choose. So for example, if you choose a sniper, you'll start off with certain sniping skills. If you choose to be an assault, you'll start off with certain assault skills. Now, my piece of advice for you here, and this is very subjective, there are several key skills that I would go after. You'll see that the skills here that I have are yellow books are the ones that I have. The bronze books are the ones that you've completed. You have to level 5. Now, there are some key skills that I'd choose. The circuitry skill is one of my first. The next would be combat engineering. You have shield boosts leading on to shield control, and then field mechanics, and therefore armor upgrades. You also have power grid upgrades. Now, these will all increase your base stats of your drop suit. Now, your beginning drop suit will have very, very low armor, very, very low PG and CPU in comparison to other players. As a new player, you're going to want to improve your player as quickly as possible without having to spend ISK. The way to do this is to use your skills. Now, the skills that I've just told you, I feel are skills that improve your player's stats to enable you to use better modules, and will enable you to stand up better against players who have been playing far longer. Now, they will also help improve your vehicles at the same time, as well as your drop suit. Now as you can see here, you have various skills. You have white numbers. If you look at each of these skills, for example, if you look at armor upgrades, you've got a white value in your skill points, and the next level cost is in red. You'll also see in weaponry, I have my next level cost in white. If it's in red, I don't have enough skill points. If it's in white, I do. If you go right to the top of your screens, you'll see skill points where I've got 1,540,163. That is my overall skill points, including those that I haven't used. And underneath it, in the green value, you can see unallocated, just under 30,000. Now that's how many skill points, or how many unallocated skill points I have in order to use. So as you'll see, the weaponry value there for the next level is going to cost me 18,650. Having 30,000 skill points, I therefore can go up to the next level within that skill. However, if I'm going to want to go into the next level of Grenadier, for example, I'm going to need 74,000 or more, and therefore I'm going to need to jump in games. Now within game, especially if you have the Mert pack and you're able to activate your active booster, you'll be able to earn a fair few skill points every game. Now on average, once you increase, you should be looking to get about 7,000 skill points, and therefore it's going to take you 10 games to get 70,000 skill points, and therefore you can see how this can take quite a long time, and therefore you're going to need to be dedicated, and you're going to want to spend a lot of time making sure you've made the right decision. And therefore this is why I say don't jump in, don't use your skill points simply off the mark. Now as you can see, you press R2, you go into skill points that you don't necessarily have but are able to purchase. There are many skills that you can have, from, as you can see there, drop uplink deployment, all the way to megacorp control, all the way down to heavy machine gun and laser rifle. There are various different skills. As you can see, once again here you have the red and white values of whether or not you have enough skill points to purchase. You'll see that there are 3 different types of skill book also on the far left, the little icon next to the name. As you can see, you have the skill book with the green tick. This means you have the prerequisite skills in order to start using this skill. You have the skill book with a red cross, meaning that you need to have some other skills in order to use it. And then you have the yellow books, which means that you already purchased the skill. The yellow books means that you can simply improve to the next level, whereas red books mean you need to get other skills in order to start, whereas green skills mean that you can simply purchase them straight off the mark. You can start improving that skill straight away, so long as you have the prerequisite skill point level. Now as you can see here, each of these names has a certain number next to it. You've got a 2 times, a 3 times and a 1 times. Now a 1 times, as you'll see there, has a base cost of 6,220. This is a base number. This is a number that is relevant to all of the beginning skills. As you can see here, sensor upgrades is 2 times. Now that is 2 times that base cost beginning, and therefore you'll be able to upgrade to level 1 so long as you've got 2 times 6,220, which of course naturally is 12,440. You'll see this is actually shown in the drop suits here. As you can see, as an 8 times, they start off with just under 50,000. And therefore it's going to take you a while in order to achieve these skills. But the better the skill, or the more effective, or the more likely it is to improve your battlefield capabilities, the more expensive you'll find it. The more skill points you'll need, and also the more ISK you'll need to purchase the skill book. In order to access any of your skill books, if you're looking to purchase, you will need ISK, another reason to jump straight into battle. As you can see here, dependent on how many skill points will also depend on how much ISK the skill will cost. The higher advanced the skill, the higher the cost you'll find it is. Now as you can see here, you have various skills in various different regions. You have electronics, for example, you have engineering. These simply correspond to the areas of importance. Now as you'll see here, when I access power and grid upgrades and I look to purchase skill book and use, prerequisites and show info, or I can press triangle where I can see the description. As you can see there, it helps the CPU. you can see the attributes, the prerequisites and the variations. Now if I press X again, I look to purchase skill book, you'll see that I do not have enough ISK. This is simply because this is a 2x skill and therefore costs me a certain amount of ISK which I have not yet achieved. If I go down to a base skill such as side weapon capacity, which is a 1x, you'll see that I now have the ISK to purchase this skill. This is because it is not as advanced. The next thing you're going to want to do once you've purchased the skill is you're going to want to put skill points into it. As you can see here, I can simply choose to upgrade skill. Now I can do this in the all skills section, or I can do it in my own skills, which is simply pressing L2. Now I've put skill points in, you'll see that at the top in my green value, my unallocated, my skill has gone down by 6,220 because that is the cost that that level requires. Now the key points in this video that I hope I've got across is the fact that don't be afraid to go down a route. Don't be afraid to try something and then find out that it isn't for you. You're going to want to use your skill points effectively. That is another key point. And therefore you're going to want to jump into battle, find out how you're going to want to play. You've got 3 different characters, so don't be afraid to have 3 totally different play styles. And simply dedicate yourself to playing several games in order to get the skill points to achieve higher levels. Because the higher level your skills, the less ISK you may need. That is a keyword, may. And therefore will enjoy the game far more because you'll be far more effective against your enemies in battle. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope it was enlightening, and I look forward to playing with you guys later on in Dust. Thank you guys.